The last Spider-Man film, Spider-Man No Way Home, uh, came very close to entering the most exclusive club in Hollywood, the $2 billion club. It was an unmitigated smash success. Huge. And so, of course, and it kind of wrapped up one part of Tom Holland's Spider-Man story and had us looking forward to finally a Spider-Man story where he's not Iron Man Jr. Awesome. Let's go with this. Get rid of that fucking stupid Iron Man suit. He's Spider-Man. He don't need it. Anyway.
Jesus.
Now, of course, these Marvel Spider-Man films are done in partnership with Sony, who still hold the rights to the Spider-Man character, and they are sharing with Marvel. Sony does the distribution, Marvel does the production, and they both have some creative input. Well, according to rumors going around right now, there's a little bit of a lover's quarrel going on between Sony and Marvel. Whereas before, Sony and Marvel had like different ideas, but they found good compromises, and we got 3 really good movies as a result. Apparently, their differences right now are quite stark. Not Tony Stark, but just quite stark differences. This comes to us from the folks at CBR who write the following, pertaining to these reports going on right now. Sony Pictures and Marvel Studios are rumored to have different ideas about where to take Tom Holland's Spider-Man following the commercial success of 2021's Spider-Man No Way Home. Sony reportedly wants to bring back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's respective Spider-Mans for another crossover with Holland's Wallcrawler. However, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige and Holland are eager for Spider-Man 4 to quote-unquote be more grounded. So, individual story. If these rumors are true, and as a side note, I spoke to somebody this morning that does not believe these rumors are true, but let's discuss them for a second. If these rumors are true, it represents the biggest divide that Sony and Marvel have ever had over the direction to take Spider-Man. And the 2 positions they're representing, I think, are both going to be very popular decisions with audiences. There are going to be audience members like me who believe the right way to go with Tom Holland's Spider-Man now is the way Marvel wants to go. Make him the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Get rid of the multiverse stuff. Get rid of the Iron Man Jr. armor. Let's have our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and have Tom Holland be that and embrace that. Make it a little bit more grounded. I love that idea. At the same time, I can recognize, and a lot of people would love the idea of seeing Tom Holland go the Sony route, where we have Tom Holland Spider-Man re-team up with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. You know, one last thing. Maybe now it's not the Tom Holland Spider-Man that needs the help. Maybe Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man needs the help. I've got a Venom over here that's causing me problems. Or whatever. The bad guy has got to be Paul Giamatti's Rhino. Whichever universe it happens in, Paul Giamatti's Rhino has got to be the bad guy. Anyway, I hope you know I'm being facetious. And I honestly think this is going to be very divisive amongst fans, because I think both ideas have their merit. I really do. As a matter of fact, for those of you watching live right now, I'm going to put up a question. Should Spidey 4 go grounded or Garfield / Maguire? And the options are, that was a Q&A I started. Never mind. I'm going to be wasting too much time. But I'm going to be curious. Ray, maybe one of you guys can put up a poll if you know how to do it. I'd be curious, because I think there are going to be a lot of fans who, like me, like the idea of grounded. But I know a lot of fans will scream to have the idea of Garfield and Maguire return. Now, for the record, I can see the appeal of having Maguire and Garfield return. The last film nearly made $2 billion. Audiences went crazy. It was an insane success, right? For me, though, it would ruin what was a perfect send-off, right? Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man never got his closing chapter. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man never got to say goodbye. And I thought Spider-Man No Way Home was not just a fun movie in and of itself, but it was a great way to give both of those characters a cathartic ending to say goodbye to the audience and ride off into the sunset. And I think to bring them back might undo that a little bit. But also there are big, huge advantages. Chris, you know, assuming that there's legitimacy to these reports, which again, I'm hearing there may not be, but let's just, for the sake of the discussion, assume they are. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. On average, it takes about 30 days for a person to break their New Year's resolution. So if saving money was on your 2024 list, your odds aren't looking that great. Luckily, I have a 100% guaranteed way to save you money this year. Just switch to Mint Mobile. For a limited time, wireless plans from Mint Mobile are $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. That's unlimited talk, text, and data for $15 a month. I've told you guys many times that after switching to Mint Mobile, I am spending less than a third on my cell bill than I used to with a major carrier. Say goodbye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. All Mint plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. And don't worry about having to change phones or numbers. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. So guys, to get this new customer offer and your new 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bills to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. Which way's the right way to go here, do you think?
Grounded and Garfield.
Grounded and Garfield.
Those are the things that I want. Because, okay, and this is my own personal bias, I am not particularly interested in, hey, MJ and I worked things out, youth pastor Spider-Man, currently at this point. That is not the story that I am dying to get back to. I am interested into Spider-Man who stopped pulling his punches. I am interested into grieving the loss of the love of your life, Spider-Man. And just those little inklings of scenes, just the look that he gave, you know, our MJ, right, our Michelle saving her, and that relief and that kind of like, I can finally save people. I'm good. That made me go, oh God, I want that movie. I want a third film for him to explore all of that.
Of course, the problem with that is Andrew's Spider-Man is not Marvel's Spider-Man.
No.
Right? He's not the MCU Spider-Man.
Not. But that's what I want still. I mean, if we're already fighting, if we're already tussling, let's fight for what we need.
I still don't. I don't understand why we can't have our cake and eat it too, because I don't understand why the MCU doesn't move on with a grounded Tom Holland.
Yeah.
And then they reintroduce Garfield into the stupid non-Spider-Man.
Because Marvel would never allow it.
Moving forward,
you can have, Marvel does not want a second live action Spider-Man movie franchise going on, competing with their live action Spider-Man.
Sure.
I'm going to get on the phone with Feige.
You should. Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, obviously, moving forward with Tom, if we're doing more MCU with Tom, I would like still grounded. And we have set it up for that, like, soft reboot, right? He now lives in the shitty apartment. He now has to provide his own suits and do this all on his own. He has to have the, you know,
yeah, that's why I lean
anonymity
that way.
of this. Yeah. You know, he has to make money somehow too to live. So that opens us up to him potentially
OnlyFans.
doing an OnlyFans. No shame. But maybe, I mean, they really did some stuff with the Bugle in that last Spider-Man film. What are you looking at on your computer? You're just very one tracked right now. So you can still have him go that photographer route. You can still have him do that. You can have him start working in a lab with a Dr. Connors, right? You can have these things, and because of his previous knowledge, maybe that also changes things from the comics of, well, wait, I know what happens when this Peter had worked with somebody named Dr. Connors. I know what happens in him trying to kind of stop things that are outside of his control. I think that all could be really, really interesting and still keep him as your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man who's not going to leave the tri-state area.
I want to bring up something. One of our live viewers, Kane Legion, put in the live chat something that I'm sure other people might be thinking, which is we can have two Batmen, but we can't have two Spider-Men?
Yeah.
Because it's a different, it's competing.
Yeah, totally different situation.
Yeah.
The two different Batmen are both under Warner Brothers.
Yep.
That's their character. They can do whatever they want there. What Warner Brothers would never allow, at least not for another 10 years when Batman enters the public domain.
I was just going to say.
But what Warner Brothers would never allow right now is if they were in some kind of sharing situation with, say, I don't know, let's just use Universal as an
Sure.
example. They would never allow Universal to do a live action Batman movie while they over at Warner Brothers are doing a live action Batman movie. It's one thing if Warner Brothers in-house on their own decide they want to have their main Batman and their Elseworlds Batman. Hey, it's under their roof. It's their thing. They're in control of both, whatever. But it's a completely different situation with that between, say, Marvel and Sony right now. So it makes it a lot more challenging and a lot more difficult, because Sony wouldn't want, there being a live action Spider-Man running around the MCU competing with their live action and vice versa. So that becomes pretty, I don't know, Ray, if they, let's say that Sony and Marvel gave you a call and say, listen, we need a tiebreaker here, Ray. Do we go grounded solo Tom Holland Spider-Man, or do we do the multiple Spider-Man team up again with Holland, Garfield, and Maguire? Which way do we go?
I'm torn on this only because I like the Spider-Man that's still in high school dealing with the struggles of a teenager.
Well, he's way beyond high school.
Yeah,
now.
so when I say grounded, that's the grounded I like. I don't like the Spider-Man that's like in his 30s and he's like still living with Aunt May and stuff. Like the animated series, like he was still like working for the.
He's
I don't
supposed
know.
to be in his 20s in the animated series.
Oh yeah, but the way
that
he
build.
dressed, he was like in his 40s.
With his Dockers, yeah.
he dressed.
In his polos.
Yeah.
I was so in
I
love
was like,
with
you're
him.
so proper with your tucked in shirt. Is
Yeah.
Aunt May? I don't know. I'm sorry. I know that's a cop out, but like I loved Andrew and Tobey in that last Spider-Man movie, but I also I don't know.
I
sorry.
just don't
can't-
think
I
it's.
can't.
No Way Home left it off so perfectly for him to start his life with his. He's like, oh, I'm going to be like my brethren and make my own Spider-Man suit and be. You know what I mean? Like
And other
to your
people
point,
don't know that he's Spider-Man. It's like a clean sheet.
That's where we
Exactly.
left the movie off at. That's where I want to pick up with. And then just to have them like him and Tobey and Garfield together, like, oh, let's just stick them together again. Mm-hmm. That's not the point. Then I'd rather have Garfield by himself at some point, but
Yeah.
not all.
Here's my answer.
That-
Whatever leads to Venom is what I want. Whatever leads
Oh.
to Sinister Six is what I want.
Well, but they can go either way and bring in Venom.
Yeah.
But
Well, Venom's in their world now because they got a little spot at the end of that.
yeah, but they could use any excuse they want
Yeah,
at
they
any given time for that, right? I listen. This is again. I would lean towards the Tom Holland solo, more grounded Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But even though I'm on that side, I can totally get the rationale and the arguments to be made on the other side. Like, you don't think if they do another one with Maguire and Garfield joining Tom Holland, you don't think that movie's automatically $1 billion film?
No, it's tough because then you have
yeah.
to explain to your the uppity ups like, so you did a $700 million movie, but we could have had a $1.2 billion movie potentially. I mean, like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's again, I can totally see the argument. I can understand why it'd be a hard time. Again, I just happen to lean towards the Tom Holland solo one though. But who
Can
knows?
we all agree that Marvel, with Marvel involved, Sony's product is better, right?
Not necessarily. I still think the two best Spider-Man films ever
Oh.
made were made only by Sony.
Yeah, I forgot
right?
about those.
Actually, you might be able to make an argument that the three best Spider-Man movies ever made were Sony only.
Because of the Spider-Verse
Into the
ones?
Spider-Verse, Cross the Spider-Verse, and Sam Raimi's
Ooh,
Spider-Man
you're
2.
right.
Well, and also if you
Well,
include the PlayStation game.
my face.
I would still add
PlayStation
Amazing
game's the best.
Spider-Man 1, the first one.
Yeah.
I
my
love that
faith,
one.
the first
It's so good.
So I mean, so I don't know. We'll have to see. But we can agree that in partnership with Marvel, those Sony Marvel Spider-Man movies have been better than, say, Amazing Spider-Man 1. By the way, and I like Amazing Spider-Man 1, but I think
Yeah.
the Marvel Sony partnership movies have been better than it. Spider-Man 3, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, stuff like that. So I mean, hey, listen, the partnership has worked. The partnership between Sony and Marvel on the Spider-Man stuff has clearly worked. Now it's just a question of which direction they're going to go. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.